Welcome back from lunch, and welcome to the road ahead for game development with Unity, also known as the Unity Roadmap. Before we get started, here's our safe harbor statement. I'll give you a second to read it. It's just a legal statement explaining that you should still do your homework when choosing your technology. I'm Andrew, and I get to lead product management for the Unity engine. That's our editor and runtime, and I'm joined by an amazing team of speakers over here. We've got Stephen, James, Nadine, Laurent, and Danny. And together, we'd love to share with you what Unity is doing to ensure that you have a complete platform for building, shipping, and running great games. You'll hear how our new graphical capabilities and upgrades are going to make your games shine. We'll talk about what new platforms and enhancements are on the way, plus how to expand your audience with what's new for multiplayer support. We'll also share the latest from our AI initiative with several innovative tools to give you new powers to build worlds in ways that you maybe have not yet thought possible. And of course, the latest from our Wētā team on professional artistry solutions. But first, let's start with Unity 6. So this is what was formerly known as Unity 23 LTS. And we're proud to announce Unity 6. It's the next major version of the engine and editor coming in 2024. It's going to come back packed with a bunch of really critical developments that we're really excited for you to get your hands on. And it is that culmination of the last year's worth of releases and development that we've been doing. But why go back to a numbered versioning system? Well, honestly, it was driven by your feedback. Together, we think this is going to provide better clarity, more transparency, and just flexibility in how we release Unity. And honestly, it's just a little less confusing than the number thing, year number thing. So Unity 6, it's all about powering your ambition. So our commitment is always to put you and your needs at the forefront of what we do. So with Unity 6, we're starting with really boosting rendering performance, enabling your project to look the best on the lowest to the highest end of devices, and really making every pixel pretty with our new lighting tech. You saw some of that this morning. We're going to dig in even deeper here. With our multiplayer center, you can create, launch, and scale multiplayer games much more easily, and our cross-platform AI runtime really opens up new possibilities for you in the editor itself. And of course, we're always enriching our platform support and making continual productivity and quality of life enhancements across the editor. So, how does the release naming work? Just to give you some visibility on how that'll pan out. So the 23.2 tech stream was released today. Congratulations to everybody in the team. That's awesome. So please go download that if you haven't already. But right after this, we're going to start switching to that new name. You're going to see it start to roll out, of course, just in our versioning as we get out there across the hub, across docs. And that's going to be accompanied by interim releases through the next little while until we release Unity 6 later in 2024. Honestly, this is just how you're used to things being with the existing LTS cycle. And on that note, Unity 6 is being released under that same long-term support term set. So meaning you get the same commitment to reliability and quality just as with our LTSs. And the support and updates, as ever, will come subsequently after we ship that. And of course, you'll see platform updates in there and just that continued focus on support, reliability, and stability. So ultimately, our goal is to be even more agile than before, allow us to address what we hear from you, your needs, your requirements as they evolve, and ensure that you have all the tools you need to succeed. Speaking of which, I'd like to invite Stephen up to the stage here. Please welcome him to kick things off for us.
Thanks, Andrew. Hi, everyone. I am really excited to share our roadmap for rendering and visual effects. At Unity, we want to provide you with a scalable, extensible, and productive render pipeline so that you can use them to build best quality visuals on the broadest range of devices. So throughout our section of the roadmap, we'll show you some of the foundational changes we've made and new features we've put in that are coming to you with the next Unity release. So before we get started, with the roadmap, I wanted to share once again how you can learn more about what you can do with the 2022 LTS release that's available to you today. To demonstrate some of the features that we've built for the Universal Render Pipeline, or URP for short, you can use the new URP 3D sample project. This is especially useful for new users that are embarking on their URP and Unity journey. It contains 4 scenes, so you can download. They're each in a different art style, and with varying rendering complexities and platform performance needs, it is a great way for you to get started. So download this project today and explore more. OK, now let's look to the future. As demonstrated in our keynote, one of our highlights of Unity 6 is the GPU resident drawer. It is designed to optimize your games and make your life easier without you needing to change your content. It's one of our ways to help you render more larger and more complex scenes without your needing to tweak them for optimizing content. So alongside this, we have our new GPU occlusion culling, which uses a GPU-driven approach to make sure that you aren't rendering things you can't see in the screen. As a result, for both URP and HDRP, and depending on your content, it can reduce CPU work dramatically. GPU Resident Drawer will be supported on a wide range of platforms, including high-end PC, mobile, and consoles. The next highlight we showcased was spatial temporal post-processing, or STP, our new state-of-the-art upscaler. STP is designed to help you deliver content across platforms and devices with varying levels of platform capabilities and screen resolutions. Frames are rendered faster, high-quality content can be scaled to more platforms, and no changes are needed to your content. STP should make it easier for you to achieve high target performance while maintaining your target quality. Another highlight of Unity 6 was adaptive probe volumes. APV enables a new way for you to build global illumination lighting. In previous releases, we provided a preview of this feature in HDRP only. With Unity 6, APV will be production ready in both URP and HDRP and comes with additional features. Let's take a closer look at this one. As well as simpler probe placement workflows and faster duration for light probe-based indirect lighting, you can now benefit from improved image quality and more control of optimizations for runtime performance based on your target platform. APV in URP enables you to choose between per vertex and per pixel quality so that you can run your content more performantly, even on low-powered devices. And having APV integrate seamlessly with atmospherics means that effects like volumetric fog in HDRP and VFX graph particles in URP and HDRP are now beautifully lit by indirect lighting. Plus, with our suite of streaming features for APV, light probe data can be streamed from disk to the CPU, from the CPU to the GPU, making this especially useful for larger scenes. And that's not all for APV. You can now also benefit from baking various lighting situations and blending between those at runtime. This can help you build more interesting lighting experiences for your target audience. And in the next major Unity release, we have also included the new sky occlusion feature. In HDRP, sky occlusion will use sky color dynamically. In URP, sky occlusion will use the sky color that you manually control through scripting or animation. Both can enable you to achieve lighting transitions as displayed in the examples here. OK, so this summarizes the features that we displayed in our keynote. Next, here are some additional features and improvements that you can leverage in both URP and HDRP. To start, we are thrilled to announce that Unity's GPU light mapper is now production ready since the 23.2 text stream. Leveraging the processing power of the GPU, this light mapper gives an order of magnitude faster lighting data generation times as compared to the CPU light mapper. This now uses a new light baking backend for on-demand bakes, significantly simplifying the code base and making the results more predictable. This also means that we've been able to lower the min-spec GPU to 2 gigabytes, making this more accessible to more creators. This release also features a new feature, like the new API that you can use to move light propositions at runtime for procedurally generated content, and many quality of life improvements. You can learn more about these changes in the forum posts we've published during beta testing, and they're linked for you here. OK, now let's switch gears and talk about improvements we are delivering for our graph-based artist tools, starting with VFX Graph. We want you to build performant visual effects and get set up with our visual effects tools quickly and efficiently. That's why we've added a new profiling tool that provides you with feedback on memory footprint and performance for your VFX graph assets, making optimizations during development more easy. We've also added new VFX templates, enabling you to start from some commonly used VFX setup, as well as new sample scenes to assist you with your learning even more. For more seasoned VFX artists and developers, we've also added custom HLSL block. With this feature, you can create your own unique effects that might not yet be natively supported in Unity. This really extends the possibilities of VFX Graph. For example, you can add custom effects like flocks through neighbor search, or you can read back from a buffer to trigger audio. Also for VFX Graph, we continue to ensure that rendering features previously only available in HDRP can now also be leveraged in URP. It's now possible to customize and spawn decals with VFX Graph in URP. Six-way lighting enables you to create more realistic-looking smoke effects beautifully integrated into your virtual environments. And in URP, VFX Graph particles can now generate motion vectors, ready to be integrated with effects like temporal anti-aliasing and motion blur. Last but not least, for VFX Graph, we're taking HDRP capabilities even further than in previous releases. The effects can be rendered in ray tracing passes, where you can use them, for example, in ray trace reflections. And volumetric fog output makes it possible to inject VFX Graph particles into volumetric fog to generate clouds, smoke, fire effects, and make volumetric fog even more dynamic. Let's move on to our next graph-based authoring tool, Shader Graph. So in Unity 6, Shader Graph enhances your productivity with quality of life improvements like faster undo-redo, hotkeys, and a simplified toolbar. And to help with optimizations for shaders, we've introduced a new heat map color mode. This highlights the most GPU-intensive nodes that you have in your graph network, so you can easily identify those and optimize them. We've also included node references, feature examples, and production-ready assets to help you streamline your creation experience even more. You can now also create dynamic UI backgrounds and shapes using procedural patterns and functions using dynamic UI content. So that's it for our graph-based tools. And next up are improvements to graphics device, drivers, and low-level APIs that are available for both URP and HDRP, starting with high dynamic range displays. These displays are becoming more and more available and produce images with higher peak brightness and wider color gamut, and they achieve higher contrast and more intense color saturation. We want to make sure that you can leverage these displays. As of Unity 6 in Unity Editor and Standalone Player, we are now providing you with cross-platform support for HDR output, including mobile, along with full compatibility for both URP and HDRP. And once you've implemented HDR into your project, we make it easy for you to learn how to incorporate HDR calibration menus using the new HDR calibration template. We use this to avoid common challenges like under and overexposure and ensuring that text on screen remains legible. We are also excited to announce that the ray tracing API is now officially production ready and is supported on a wide range on Windows, Xbox Series X, S, and PlayStation 5, and is accessible by both URP and HDRP. That's right. Out of the box, you can utilize this API with a collection of leading-edge ray tracing effects for your projects in HDRP. In Unity 6, we've also added the ability to issue hardware-accelerated ray queries through inline ray tracing and shaders. This unlocks new and exciting possibilities for custom effect authoring, such as custom ray traced shadows. Additionally, we've implemented acceleration structure optimizations to help reduce memory usage when ray tracing complex and larger scenes. Let's move on to additional ways we're improving performance, starting with the new threading mode, Split Graphics Jobs. Split Graphics Jobs significantly improves CPU multi-threading performance by reducing unnecessary synchronization between the main thread and native graphics jobs threads. The performance gains, they increase based on the amount of draw calls that are submitted in your frame, and this new threading mode is supported on Windows, Xbox, PlayStation platforms, and the Unity Editor now also supports graphics jobs on Windows platforms, which improves the scene and play mode rendering performance. So this wraps up the features you can leverage in both render pipelines. Next, let's focus on performance improvements we've made for the universal render pipeline. Our primary focus this year has been to enhance the core of URP and its API. One major highlight of this is improving the foundation of URP with Render Graph. Render Graph provides a great foundation for GPU performance optimization and is optimized by default for tile-based rendering, which is commonly used on for mobile devices. For those of you who love to push the boundaries of URP or offer extensions on the asset store, the Render Graph API integration offers improved extensibility and easier access to rendering data like the gbuffer. Now, even if you're not dealing with all of the APIs, these changes still bring you benefits, as they enhance memory bandwidth, resource management, and optimize built-in passes. Also in URP, in Unity 6, we're introducing VR foveated rendering support for Oculus XR, PSVR 2, and OpenXR. Foveated rendering concentrates quality on where the eye is focused while reducing quality in the periphery. This improves GPU performance and enables you to achieve higher frame rate with high-quality visuals in VR. Our solution also introduces gazed foveated rendering, which applies this technique based on where the user is looking inside VR. The result is that you can provide a smoother VR experience while maintaining high visual fidelity. OK, we're getting close to the end of our update for rendering visual effects. I'll close out by moving on to new features you can leverage with the high-definition render pipeline. For the high-definition render pipeline, we want to be able to ensure that you can create beautiful environments, and that includes maximizing visual quality for sky and for water. For water rendering in Unity 6, we included many enhancements. For example, you can build more realistic-looking water by including currents in rivers and seas. These are controlled through flow maps. For floating objects on water, you can also use generate foam using the foam generator, and rendering can be to look even more realistic with a custom waterline and much improved compatibility with transparency in clouds. For you to get started more easily with our water features, we've also included samples for common use cases like oceans, rivers, and pools. Next in HDRP, we want to help you expand on your environment lighting. You can now include a new night sky with stars, planets for your time of day scenarios, and we have improved visual fidelity for the physical sky, which can now include atmospheric scattering and an ozone layer simulation. The final highlight we want to share with you are the enhancements we made to HDRP character rendering. Not so long ago, we unveiled enemies. This cinematic showcased Unity's latest advancements for rendering high-quality digital humans. With Unity 6, we're pleased to announce that character rendering features demonstrated in the enemies will now be made available to you in HDRP. For beautiful hash rendering, this includes the line rasterizer with improved lighting, performance, and anti-aliasing. And for improved skin shading, we've added the dual lobe option to more accurately simulate the intricacies of a character's skin, making this especially useful for character close-ups. We are really excited to see what you'll create with these new features coming to rendering and visual effects in Unity 6. To find out more, here are some deeper dive talks that are happening later today. We have a session that focuses on how to achieve high visual fidelity in HDRP, and we have a session that shows you how to accelerate your multi-platform development with the latest for URP. On that note, I'll hand over to James, who'll be talking you through how to maximize your platform reach.
Thanks, Stephen. Hi, everyone. My name's James Stone. I lead product management for our core platforms here at Unity. And today, I'm going to cover what we're working on to improve our platform support. Unity now supports 20 platforms, and that list continues to grow. And our focus is to help you reach your players wherever they are. We work to make sure that you can ship across all major platforms, knowing that the performance and stability will be there. And we want to help you reduce the cost of supporting as many platforms as much as we can. So let's check out what's coming. And let's start with the roadmap for XR. Now, I'm sure if any of you watched the Apple keynote, you would have been as excited as we were to see Apple Vision Pro announced. And Unity, through our collaboration with Apple, have built support for this incredibly exciting new spatial computing platform. In fact, tens of thousands of you have been extremely eager to get your hands on these tools for Vision OS. So, starting today, I'm extremely excited to announce that we are expanding the beta to all Pro, Enterprise, and industry customers. And if you want to join in, please visit unity.com/spatial. Beta users can access initial platform support for building mixed reality apps enabled by Unity's newly developed polyspatial technology. And later in the year, we'll bring even more advanced features for mixed reality development, including shader graph, particle system, and improvements to iteration and debugging tools. This is an amazing opportunity for all XR developers to be there right at the start of this new mixed reality platform. And we at Unity are proud to once again to ensure that the latest platform innovations are ready for you on day one. In addition to powerful tools for creating virtual reality games, we're excited to officially launch AR Foundation for the Quest 3, including features such as pass-through video, plane detection, occlusion, and our interaction toolkit. You can get started with your project today by downloading the virtual or mixed reality templates in the Unity Hub. I hope you're able to attend our deep dive session earlier today on how to elevate your mixed reality with Presence Platform and MetaQuest 3, and if not, please check out the recording after the event. Now, integrating real-world elements into your game is a core part of mixed reality, and we're making it even easier with these major highlights coming to AR Foundation and OpenXR next year. Spatial anchors lay the foundation for creating compelling mixed reality games by allowing you to precisely align virtual objects with specific locations in the real world. Many of you have been asking how we will expand on our existing support for anchors. So, starting next year, AR Foundation will support persistent, shared, and cloud anchors for your reality games. We are also introducing composition layers to give you flexibility in how digital content is rendered in a headset. From rendering UI more clearly to adjusting depth and additional projection layers, we're giving you more control so you can enhance the quality of your XR experiences. Furthermore, we're enhancing the way that environment data helps you understand major elements in a player's space. For example, we're adding plane tracking and mesh data to new platforms in AR Foundation so you can create more compelling and immersive gameplay. And finally, we're always looking for ways to speed up your development process. So coming to Unity 6 is our new cross-platform input framework, which will help you build natural input methods once that will work across many XR devices. Plus, advanced features are coming very soon which will allow you to create and detect your own custom hand gestures and ensure that reliable detection is there with debugging tools. With more devices supporting hand tracking, we are always thinking of new ways to improve interaction, and you can expect to hear more about this next year. You can quickly get started with creating XR experiences today with one of our templates for augmented, virtual, or mixed reality. And soon, you'll be able to get started creating social games with our new multiplayer template releasing next year. The world of XR and mixed reality is moving fast, but Unity's deep commitment to our platform support means you're ready to take the content to these new platforms on day one. So let's take a look at another platform that we've been making some major improvements to. Now, I know many of you have been eagerly awaiting some news on what we've been doing with web platforms. Well, today I'm excited to tell you that Unity now supports mobile browsers, starting from Unity 6. I know, right? It's cool. You will now be able to run your Unity games anywhere the web exists, including mobile browsers themselves. You can now run your Unity titles embedded in a web view inside native apps, or use a progressive web app template to make your games behave as a native app along with its own shortcuts. But that's not all. Through our strategic partnership with Google, Web GPU is coming in early access next year to Unity 6. You will now be able to leverage compute rendering techniques like compute shaders, GPU skinning, VFX graph, along with even more GPU rendering techniques currently in development. So players can immerse themselves in complex scenes with stunning details. And you'll hear more about this in our web deep dive session later today. And finally, as you may have heard in the Unity keynote, we have indeed partnered with Meta to build support for their instant game platforms. And here, users can find and play games instantly on Facebook and inside Messenger conversations. And with an audience of gamers in the hundreds of millions, this is a fantastic new opportunity for Unity developers to participate in. And the web has always been one of Unity's most popular platforms, and I really look forward to seeing what amazing experiences that you all bring to this fast-evolving ecosystem. And speaking of ecosystems, I'd like to take a little bit more time to talk about the exciting news coming from our partnership with Microsoft. For 2023.1, Unity delivered support for ARM-based Windows devices, enabling you to bring your titles to this new hardware platform and achieve rock-solid performance and stability natively on ARM64 processors. Well, to build on that, we're excited to announce that native Unity editor support for ARM-based Windows devices is coming in Unity 6. This means you can now work on your Unity games on even more Windows devices, taking advantage of the performance and the flexibility that ARM-powered devices can offer. But it's not just about platform support. Our partnership with Microsoft also focuses on your success. And with that in mind, you'll be able to develop and build Win32 games using the Microsoft Game Development Kit, or GDK. The Microsoft GDK contains the common tools, libraries, and documentation needed to build Windows standalone games, including user management, achievements, Xbox Network, and other Windows-specific tools. We also include options to edit and your build configurations through scripting and build automations. So, let's take a look at now what we're working on in the world of Android. We know how important it is to you that not only do you want your games to install quickly, but they also perform well across a multitude of Android devices. Well, Unity 6 brings a couple of new features to Android. The first is support for Play Asset Delivery with the new Addressables Android package. You can use a new or existing addressable setup to benefit from Play Asset Delivery's dynamic delivery options. And when you combine this with texture compression target formatting, your players get textures customized for their devices at a much smaller install size. The second improvement is the addition of a new application point, Game Activity, powered by the Android Game Development Kit. This new system brings a number of new benefits, including improved threading support for lifecycle, input, and keyboard events, enhanced updatability outside of engine releases, and through the use of Android X and access to the Unity X Android Bridge. I said it without stumbling. That's a hard sentence. This brings you further customization over events such as events like pause and resume on the phone. But that's not all. We've improved real-time memory feedback for Android by integrating it with Google's Memory Advice API. You can now get real-time signals on the level of memory used from a healthy state to when you're approaching a limit or to when you've reached a critical state. And this can help you know when to make real-time adaptations within your project so that your users have an optimal experience on their device. Or you could even send it to your analytics for performance purposes. So coming next year to Unity 6, we've also introduced support for Android's predictive back gesture, so your users can avoid unintended quits from your application by previewing that it's about to close. And last but not least, well, sometimes things just do go wrong, and a game can close unexpectedly. Well, you can now integrate a host of new C# APIs providing access to your game's exit reasons. These insights will allow you to help fine-tune user messaging in case of crashes, send to your analytics, or even adapt how your game launches. So we've taken a look at the improvements we're making in the Android space, so now let's take a look at some improvements we're bringing to our console developers. For console developers, we've made some major improvements to iteration speed across all of our platforms. But before I dive into that, let's talk about the launch of PlayStation VR 2. So earlier this year, we worked in partnership with Sony to successfully bring support for PlayStation VR 2 on day one. And our developers saw great success with Unity in the launch window, with over 50% of titles being made with Unity. And this is particularly due to our XR stack, which makes it easy for you to develop a single project with the XR toolkit and apply that across all of our XR platforms. We've also done a lot of work around optimizations for PlayStation 5 and foveated rendering for PlayStation VR 2, allowing you to squeeze significant performance out of your title with even a single click. And you can look forward to additional improvements coming to the PlayStation VR 2 platform with HDR support and in URP and HDRP coming in Unity 6. So let's also talk about our improvements to iteration speeds. The Unity incremental build pipeline allows you to iterate more quickly in between builds. And once a scene has been built, subsequent builds will focus only on the delta, meaning that your build times drastically reduce in most situations. And you can see from the graphic on screen that when we tested this with the boat attack project, build times have dropped almost 50% in Unity 6 versus 2021 LTS after you've changed the script. And if you build that scene again without any script changes, it dropped from 40 seconds to just over 5. And that's going to bring huge improvements and significant benefits to your iteration speeds during development. And this feature is now fully supported across all of our console platforms. So, finally, let's move on to some updates that we're doing to our core platform support. With Unity 6, we are introducing a number of quality of life changes and a new optional workflow for configuring your builds and targeting new platforms. And let's first talk about some updates to the build window. Today, we know a lot of you rely on build scripts to customize the way that builds are managed in the editor. And this is mostly because a lot of our build settings are global to the project, and they can't be changed per build. Well, our new build profile system is the first in a series of updates designed to address this common feedback. You can now have multiple profiles for a single build target. Perhaps you want many different configurations for Android. Well, now you can do that. Perhaps you want a build profile for your vertical slice, one for your demo, one for the final build, and each one containing different settings, different scene lists, and you can do that too now. And it will make managing your builds so much easier and offer you a higher degree of flexibility than ever before. And this is just the first iteration in a number of planned changes to greatly enhance your build workflows. And it's not just the build window. We're also enhancing platform discovery inside the editor as well. And the new platform browser is a place where you can discover all the platforms that Unity supports and get information on how to deploy to them, get documentation relevant to that platform, and even how to apply for closed platforms. And when you add a build profile from this new window, we will ensure that all mandatory packages and settings are correctly configured and installed for that platform, getting you up and running even faster than before. And these are just the first set of a number of planned improvements to enable faster cross-platform development, so you can look forward to more news on this next year. So thank you all for listening to the exciting updates we have across our platform ecosystem. We do have some deeper dive talks today happening, and I urge you to go and check them out. But for now, I'm going to hand over to Laurent, who will be talking you through the latest innovations in multiplayer.
Thank you, James. It's a real pleasure to be with you in person and to hear about all the crazy ideas you're putting into your games. My name is Laurent. I'm in charge of product teams for Dots and multiplayer. Unity has a unique multiplayer offering: engine, support, consulting, services, spanning from fast creation to launching everywhere and scaling with success. Unity Engine has evolved its set of out-of-the-box solution rapidly this year with Unity 2022 LTS. Casual cooperative games like the amazing Ship of Fools from Fika Productions can be developed quickly with simple editor netcode solutions and cost-efficient relay services. More ambitious competitive titles, such as Istera from Sticky Rock Studio, can now leverage the new high-performance editor netcode solutions and grow with success on the Unity game server hosting scalable infrastructure. And of course, Unity Engine is always extensible, and the low-level networking transport package used by our engine solutions can be leveraged for your own netcode implementation. This is how TurboGolf Racing achieved their bespoke netcode gameplay. Unity multiplayer services offer a range of dedicated services tailored to game developers to help you improve your player experience. Earlier this year, we introduced A/B testing for Matchmaker, allowing you to efficiently test and optimize matchmaking rules without disrupting game operations. Additionally, Matchmaker now supports leaderboard and cloud save integrations. From a hosting perspective, Multiplay partnered with Valve to offer Valve Steam Datagram Relay, SDR, making Unity the first game server hosting provider to provide DDoS capabilities. Valve SDR not only protects against DDoS attacks by obscuring IP addresses, but also optimizes network path in real time to reduce latency for players improving the overall multiplayer game experience. We also made improvements to our community solutions. The latest Vvox Unity SDK simplifies the process of adding voice and text chat to Unity games, reducing necessary code by a factor of 30x. The new Unity audio source for Vvox enhances the immersive experience, particularly beneficial for VR developers. We also introduced safety tools in open beta, which you will all hear more about later in later sessions. Together, all those solutions offer an end-to-end communication and safety platform to ensure you build inclusive and engaged communities. And we are committed to continue our investment in multiplayer game, and we want to unveil some of the solutions being built. And so let's start with how we plan to make the multiplayer game creation simpler. Unity has many solutions to help with a variety of multiplayer game needs. We are working at a series of templates to get you started, but we also understand you often have to navigate technical choices later when it is the time to introduce multiplayer concepts to your project. To help with this situation, we are working on a central location in the editor, codenamed Multiplayer Center, where you can play with parameters of your multiplayer goals and see what are the recommended tools, services, educational material relevant to your project at this point. You can add some of those directly to your project and start experimenting with those multiplayer capabilities immediately. Once you have a working gameplay, the very next step is to try it out with multiple clients to get a feel of the experience using separated processes. This is what multiplayer play mode will deliver. It enables multiple editor instances of clients along with server to be opened simultaneously on the same device using the same source asset on disk, providing a more efficient and quick development cycle of multiplayer games. You can see it working with our casual co-op boss room sample. It's true that it really, really helps with development. The next step is usually to involve another player. And in a casual co-op scenario, that will often be in a client authoritative multiplayer gameplay coupled with a relay server. To speed things up, we are integrating Unity Gaming Services Relay so you can simply create a session and get somebody else to join your play mode. Your multiplayer game might require a server authoritative model to prevent cheating, for example, when there is some competition involved. While you could use multiplayer play mode with any netcode stack, here is an example based on Dots for an action competition game using the latest Megacity showcase, Megacity Metro we unveiled a little bit earlier today. In such a scenario, multiplayer play mode will support the local and remote deployment of dedicated server to keep your iteration loop as short as possible, even when you have a complex topology network. We've delivered in 2021 RTS a dedicated server build target, allowing you to create both the client and server from a single project, reducing significantly the development and iteration time. We're adding additional content selection features that will help you to go one step further in that process without custom scripts and help you make the server as lean as possible with options to strip out the client parts of your project. And when you need to introduce a cloud infrastructure, sometimes that would make your iteration loop for your dedicated server can become more difficult and slow to iterate. This is why we have taken steps to automate the upload of your build to game server hosting solution in Unity Gaming Services, allowing you to mix and match automatic creation of client and server and run deployment scenario faster and save you additional integration steps. So, getting your gameplay together is only one part of the challenge. You also need to get to market, and we want to ensure you have the best opportunities to do so. All the multiplayer gameplay solutions, the netcodes coming with a Unity engine, are based on the transport package. This package provides a robust, low-level networking layer you can leverage to build your own customized netcode for specific game needs. Transport now supports Unity Web, which means your solution can ship to all platforms. Of course, multiplayer play mode, dedicated server workflows can be used with your custom solutions. Building a multiplayer game often requires to integrate product and services together with thousands of lines of code. With our upcoming multiplayer services SDK, we are massively simplifying the integration and dependency management while offering a new way to interact with our services. And when you want to build rich multiplayer experiences, you might sometimes feel slowed by the complexity and high operational costs. We are introducing a new network topology solution called Distributed Authority to enable you to distribute simulation workload across clients, providing a scalable cloud backend coordinated by the highly optimized cloud state service. With such a solution, you can build large-scale multiplayer titles with lower operational costs, engineering efforts, and latency, opening up new possibilities for your multiplayer development. Managing the growth of a successful multiplayer game can be challenging and risky. Unity services are proven at large scale through powering AAA-grade productions that constantly requires us to push the limits. Here are some of the new capabilities coming to our services. In the world of multiplayer games, maintaining fair competition is crucial to keep players engaged. However, you often face difficulties when it comes to establishing a skill system of your own. Our skill-based matchmaker will eliminate the need for you to build a skill system from scratch. Through this feature, you can effortlessly compute player skill scores using various metrics such as wins, loadout, or in-game achievements. The skill-based matchmaker can be easily configured to suit the specific requirements of each game, ensuring a level playing field for all players. This fosters a genuinely fair competitive environment that boosts player retention and engagement. You also want to have better observability to track things that are happening to the matches created by the matchmaker, so you can see trends and catch issues earlier for debugging. Session Details offers enhanced observability into the matchmaker by providing you with match-level details. You can track major events that occur throughout the lifespan of each match, such as the specific matchmaking rules that have been applied to a match, the joining sequences of individual players, and backfill updates. With match-level observability, you can identify trends, detect and resolve issues faster, reducing time to iterate the matchmaker system. Protecting players and teams from harmful content is an important part of our mission. Next year, Safe Voice evolves by fusing semantic and acoustic analysis for sharper insights. Limiting the need for human moderators to review the evidence, we help increase the productivity and morale of moderation teams. Simultaneously, we're launching a revolutionary context analysis for text, taking the complete context of the conversation for analysis. Together, Safe Voice and Safe Text fortify our platform safety, empowering real-time positive play reinforcements for thriving communities. It is not just about curbing the negative, it's about cultivating the positive game after game. To get deeper into the multiplayer topic, please come back to main stage later today with 2 sessions to explore getting started with multiplayer game development and AI-driven solutions for toxicity management. This is the perfect segue to our next section, Unity AI.
Thanks, Laurent. Hi, everyone. My name is Nadine, and I'm the program manager leading our AI portfolio. How excited is everyone about Sentis and Muse? Great. That makes for a really great presentation. All right. Earlier, you've learned Sentis is our neural engine that allows you to import and run AI models in the Unity runtime. So let's recap. Sentis has been in beta since this past June and is ready for you to start using today. Sentis makes it easy to fuse AI innovation with your game development in the runtime and unlock new experiences that traditional code can't deliver. With a single implementation of your AI model, Sentis automatically optimizes it for all Unity runtime platforms, so you can create once and ship anywhere. With Sentis, running AI models locally on end-user devices enables the fastest inference time without network latency, avoids server inference costs, and reduces the burden of sending sensitive data to the cloud. As we look ahead into 2024, we will focus on a few exciting improvements. Sentence will leverage NPUs to speed up model inference and offload work from the CPU and GPU. We will also make it easier to interpret your AI model in code by adding a graph editor that allows for intuitive model visualization and layer and optimization edits. Lastly, there are cases where it's preferable to host your AI model on a cloud server, such as with large language models that are very large on disk. For these cases, you'll be able to use the Sentence HTTP wrapper for the API calls without changing the C# code, keeping the local and cloud inference inputs and outputs consistent to work with. While Sentence helps enable AI-powered game experiences for our creators, Muse offers a suite of capabilities that help simplify and accelerate game creation. As we've just announced, we've officially launched our Muse subscription. As a Muse subscriber, you will have early access to texture, sprite, and chat, and access to our alpha programs for behavior, animate, and sketch. During the early access period, we are giving you unlimited freedom to experiment as much as you want. We believe through your experimentation, you can help us learn how to make Muse an ecosystem of capabilities that creators will find easy to use. Now let's dive a bit deeper into each capability. Chat is a web interface trained on Unity's own data to solve problems, answer Unity questions, and generate usable code. Sprite allows you to create 2D art trained by your own and altered through prompts directly in the editor. Texture is a natural language prompt used to create high-quality PBR textures fast. Behavior helps set up character interactions through natural language, saving time in the editor. Animate can bring your human-like characters to life through just a few prompts, and Sketch helps you rapidly mock up scenes through natural language prompts. Through our Muse beta program, we've received tons of your feedback. I mean, you guys did not hold back on your feedback at all. But because of it, we've learned a lot. Currently, chat allows you to find resources and generate code using natural language. In 2024, we'll be extending the reach and presence of chat to allow you to do more with natural language. With chat, we are meeting our developers where they are. We've also learned through our beta program the importance to further improve our responsibly sourced model to ensure we are helping you achieve game-ready, high-quality outputs. And we recognize artistic control is a critical user need. As a creator, your experience should be simple and intuitive, and your workflows should feel seamless. For this reason, we will add more customization features and make the AI work for you. Now, let's go deeper into what's coming in 2024 via our alpha programs. As mentioned, Muse subscribers will get priority access to our latest capabilities, behavior, animate, and sketch. With behavior, you will finally have the ability to create and manage behavior trees using natural language input without third-party tools. Yes, incredible. Simply describe the desired AI behavior using text prompts and let behavior transform textual descriptions into behavior trees and C# actions. With Animate, we are giving you the power to generate and customize 3D animations in just minutes, all while making it easy to export your creations into Unity and other 3D software. With Sketch, we're taking the guesswork out of playtesting and giving creators the ability to ideate and conceptualize. Sketch empowers teams to collaborate, prototype, and iterate in real-time 3D with no coding required and fully integrated with the Unity ecosystem. So, I know you're already thinking, what about my data? While data sharing helps improve our models and your experience, Unity is committed to responsible data sharing, and with Muse, we're giving our creators an easy way to opt in or opt out to sharing your data. As you can see, with Muse, we are meeting our creators where you are, and we will continue to grow our ecosystem with you. To learn more, although our 2 Sentis breakout sessions just wrapped up, we will have a Muse breakout session at 3:30 p.m. where we'll take a deeper dive into building with Sprite and Texture, and you can also get hands-on with Sentis and Muse at our demo station located in the hub. Thank you. Now I'm handing it off to Danny.
Thanks, Nadine. My name is Danny Oakes, and I'm a product manager for Unity Wētā Tools, focusing on environment workflows. And I'm very excited to be here at Unite to share more about the art tools we're building and give you a glimpse at the roadmap for Wētā Tools. So as Wētā Tools, we're delivering a collection of workflows for creating high-fidelity content that is both performant and interoperable with all major 3D engines and DCC tools. Our goal isn't to empower creators where they work, but we really want to empower creators where they work, especially inside of Unity. And today we're going to be focusing on 2 critical creative workflows. First, character creation with Ziva, including a newly released Ziva Real-Time for Unity, bringing data-light, film-quality assets into real-time. And second, we'll be talking about what's next for our environment tools with SpeedTree and the next evolution of vegetation in the Unity engine. Let's get started by diving into Ziva. Ziva is a suite of tools for character creation that is literally more than just skin deep. With Ziva VFX, you can create compelling movement for any type of character by accurately simulating muscles, tissue, skin, or even cloth. This deep level of simulation results in unmatched believability when characters, humans, animals, or honestly anything else come to life in your movies or games. Ziva Real-Time is our middleware implementation. It brings these characters into the game engines. With a hyper-efficient ZRT format, you can then translate those character-specific behaviors and deformations to real-time models without compromising memory budgets. This powerful real-time character pipeline is available today for the Unity engine. This workflow is made up of 2 components. First, there's the Ziva Real-Time Trainer, which is used to translate simulations to a format usable in real time, and is completely indifferent to the origin of data that it can ingest. And this is really important. Whether created with Ziva VFX or any other tool, users can use the Ziva Real-Time Trainer to create ZRT files. Second, these ZRT files are then ingested into the real-time player, which is a runtime package that enables these files to play back in the Unity engine, and is again available today as a downloadable package for Unity, and will be included in the next LTS release. So what's next? Integrating Ziva into the Unity engine is really just the beginning. Through the next year, we're continuing to invest in our real-time pipeline by introducing topology deformation transfers for enhanced LED support, GPU optimizations for better performance in Unity, and enhanced quasi-static clothing support for real-time deformations of clothing on your characters. And as always, we're continuing to refine the user experience for a real-time trainer to make it a delight to use. We're also excited to be bringing our hair and fur authoring tool, Wig, to users in Q1 2024. Launching as a USD-based Maya plugin, Wig brings incredibly intuitive grooming workflows with a focus on art destruction and non-destructive ways to work. Wig ensures fidelity to the creator's vision that is represented in the final product. We're really excited to share more about this in our breakout session today at 4 o'clock, so please come by, and also come by the demo booth where you can see it in action. All right, let's dive into what we're growing with our environment tools. This year, we released SpeedTree 9.4 and 9.5, which included an incredible amount of new features for creators. Honestly, I've been with SpeedTree for almost a decade now, and this is the most features I've seen released in a single year, and it's been exciting to watch. It's made it easier to build both stylized and realistic vegetation without having to break your flow or switch to another tool. It's now easier to create and edit leaf meshes using frond sections, to create highly detailed leaves with non-destructive workflows. We've added new tools, projectors, which allow you to raycast mushrooms, details, or even snow onto your creations. We've also responded to creators' feedback and implemented an improved cutout editor that makes it easier to create leaves from existing atlases, whether using texture atlases made with SpeedTree or imported from other applications. And we're not slowing down. Our developers are hard at work right now getting ready for some incredible releases next year. I'm excited to be able to give you a quick look at some of the new features coming in 2024. SpeedTree 10 is the first release of the modeler that really illustrates the impact that being part of Wētā Tools has had on our creation. As we integrate workflows from our friends over at Wētā Digital, we have new tools that will help you create vines that can be draped across branches. You can shape and trim whole trees with new tools where you can just, with one click, just create a circle, create any shape you want. And we've had a complete overhaul of the speed tree UX to make it easier to find what you're looking for. But we've also been laying a foundation on, some new tools for speed tree's future. So over the entirety of speed tree's development, we've been focused on how to bridge the worlds of simulation and art direction control. Rules is a new workflow within speed tree that allows you to control multiple properties at once. This means you can change things like the spine length of the trunk or the branch radius of one of your upper branches across single or multiple generators. This allows creators to build new tools for growing assets within speed tree, whether that's simulating life stages of a tree, the environment that the tree lives in, changing the shape from a forest tree to a field tree, or just creating fun shortcuts to fine-tune the shape and structure. All of these can be controlled and edited inside of the speed tree modeler with simple Lua scripts. Now, the natural next step for rules would be to create a whole library of smart assets and have these rules pre-applied to them from the start. So that's what we did. Our artists are building rules into the speed tree library and allowing you to quickly edit all of our trees with a few intuitive controls. On top of this, the all-new library of assets will come with a new standalone tool to quickly download the speed tree library so that you can make changes with a 3D viewer and rules editor, open it up directly inside a speed tree for more complex work, or just send it directly into Unity or any other DCC with the same export options that you have inside the speed tree modeler. We're really excited to see what artists are going to do with these new tools, and they'll be available early next year. But we're also really excited about what these opportunities open up for the Unity engine. As part of Unity, we're helping across all of our teams to make Unity a better place to build environments. Unity 6 includes a host of improvements for world building and environment art, which will make working with speed trees a much more natural fit. This is on top of a rebuilt speed tree integration that improves wind performance with a new GPU-driven wind. But with the addition of rules, we have an opportunity to create something new inside of Unity. So what we're doing is we're bringing speed tree rules into the Unity editor. We're going to allow you to open up a procedural speed tree directly inside the speed tree editor and then power it to change however you want. So you can control these rules by environment textures. You can control them by sliders inside the Unity editor. And this is all powered by a new tool called the Pipeline SDK, which is the backbone of the speed tree procedural engine. Once you're able to edit these trees inside of the Unity editor, you can drive whole forests with just a few assets. The possibilities of this integration are endless when combined with the existing tools inside of Unity. So again, be sure to join us for our breakout session today at 4 o'clock for more information about these workflows coming from both characters and environments. And here's Andrew to close us out. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome, 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 amazing stuff. I love to see all that integration back into the editor. But look, we're really, really focused on enabling Unity 6 features and making sure they're rock solid, stable, stable, stable. Before we go, we wanted to tease your creative taste buds, if you will, for what's ahead after Unity 6. Given it's been our #1 piece of feedback in the last few years, it won't surprise any of you that iteration speed is going to see significant improvements. So what are we doing? Well, along with the new content pipeline, which will push many operations to the background, a lot of things will become non-blocking, you are going to see a lot less progress bars. That's our commitment there. Connected with this, of course, is the goal of iteration speed and just core performance is, of course, where we're taking our use of .NET. So at GDC this year, we announced that we are moving to core CLR for our Unity C# runtime. That work is absolutely on track. We're really, really happy with how that's going. And we'll be upgrading Unity to .NET 7, which in our benchmarks internally shows at least 2 to 10 times speed up in some of those areas of raw performance. And of course allows us to stay current with the whole .NET ecosystem, the latest C# and so on and so forth. Finally, one of the big highlights certainly for this year for me was getting my hands on Dots 1.0 as part of the 22 LTS. And we're absolutely committed to really driving and integrating Dots further into the core engine. and really evolving the scalability of the game object architecture that we have. So there's a lot of really, really cool stuff there. Rejoin us at GDC, where we'll be going into depth in all these areas in much more detail. But look, first of all, thank you to all the speakers for an amazing session today. Thank you to you for your attention, and we'll leave it there, everybody. Thank you.